So, so my name's Amanda Vallone. I'm from Roseboro Travel Agency, and we are located in the heart of downtown DeLand, but we've been working with people around the nation that have been wanting to plan cruises, tours, and all sorts of travel. And the number one thing that's being asked for right now is travel throughout the US. Because of COVID and this lockdown, we've all been wanting to explore our own backyard a little bit more. So today we have Mayflower Cruises and Tours. We have Jean Rice with us, and she's going to tell you all about the amazing experience that we'll be promoting where you can go to the Black Hills and the Badlands. Okay. So she'll go over the Mayflower tour with you, and I think that that's it. So, Jean, how about you go ahead and take it away and take us on this virtual tour?
I will for sure. And thank you all for joining me. Again, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I am in the senior citizen bracket, so I do pretty good to get on here and get things going. So I'm happy to introduce to you today from Black Hills and Badlands. It's a great tour, a very popular tour with us. But before I start with that, I'm going to tell you just a little bit more about Mayflower for those of you that may not know exactly who we are. We are actually a part of the Scenic Group now, which is great. And Scenic was started in 1986 by Glenn Maroney. And in 2018, we actually launched our first river cruise programs on the Dutch waterways. And then Scenic at that same time launched their spaceships, which is what we call them, in Europe on the European rivers. In 2014, Emerald Waterways was launched. And in 2018, Mayflower was actually purchased by the Scenic Group. I think it's a very good marriage because we have lots of land product in the United States. And now we have, of course, river cruises and small ship cruising in Europe. In 2019, we launched the Scenic Eclipse, and that's the world's first discovery yacht. It's very exciting. Someday, maybe I'll do another presentation just on the Eclipse. It actually has 2 helicopters and a submarine that goes below it, so it's really neat. And then in 2021, we are going to be launching a brand new Emerald Azura, which is a ship that has 50 cabins. And its inaugural will be coming December of 2021. So we look forward to that launch. These are our total product launches, just so you're able to see. We have North America holidays, which like Amanda mentioned right now, is becoming very popular for this year. A lot of people aren't quite comfortable yet to travel to Europe. So this is a good alternative. We do, of course, have Europe and river cruise programs that we're booking now a lot for the fall of 2021 into the spring of 2022. And then you see the pictures of the Azura and of the Scenic Eclipse right there on the other flyers there. Just so you know, we're one of the few companies that does provide either a home pickup or a local pickup for your groups. These are all the counties that we offer it in. So hopefully you live in one of those counties and you can take advantage of that. It's a very nice service. We take you to the airport and then we pick you up at the airport upon your return. Of course, we also can provide deluxe transportation with our tours. Amanda's group and team there will be providing the airfare in conjunction with the Black Hills to Badlands. So today I'll be talking mainly just land prices, but I know Amanda and her team will get your air prices and get you the best rate round trip to join the land program. Of course, we take care of all of your luggage. Make sure that it's taken up to your room and returned so that you don't have to be sloughing that around. And a lot more of our programs now, we're doing a lot what we call hub and spoke, which makes it very nice because you stay in one spot. There's a picture of one of our tour managers and one of our little groups that went on a trip here. And our tour managers are all professionally trained. We don't just take people off the street and send them out on a tour. They have to actually go to quite intensive schooling before they're allowed to join Mayflower Cruises and Tours. And in addition to the tour managers, we actually offer local step-on guides and historians. In that way, you get the real skinny on the things when you're right there in destination, because unfortunately, the tour managers can't learn every single destination that they actually go to. So this gives you the history, the heritage, the inside things that you may not learn without having a local guide. One of the other unique things that we do at Mayflower is that we offer a guaranteed share program. So if you're a single traveler and you don't have anyone to travel with, we will put you with another person, of course, of the same sex and non-smoking. And then you don't have to pay the additional monies to have, your single room. Your single supplement is waived. And if we can't find another partner for you to travel with, we'll actually give you the double rate. So it's definitely worth it if you are a single traveler to sign up for that when you make your booking. So now I'm going to go a little bit into Black Hills to Badlands. And I'm fortunate enough that I've done some of this area already on my own. So I've put a few personal pictures in here too, but it's just a really, really nice tour. And as I mentioned a little bit ago, you see here, we are doing what we call a hub and spoke in our industry, where we'll be staying 5 nights at the same hotel, which makes it really nice, because you don't have to pack and unpack. So you stay there and then you go out on different day trips and go and see the entire area. And it makes it really, really nice. So this is a 6-day program with 9 meals. And we're going to start out by going to Rapid City, South Dakota. And your flight should be coming in prior to 6 p.m. at night, because at 6 p.m. you will meet your tour manager in the lobby of the hotel, and she'll give you some recommendations of where you can go to eat for your first night. We don't normally, or sometimes we don't do a meal the first night because people get in at different times. This way you can kind of plan your own evening for the first evening, and then we'll get on the road together the next day. So the next day we're going to go to Bear Country, USA. And here you're going to see all types of bears, lots of bears, I should say, and other animals too, when we go through the wildlife park. And there's a picture of a couple of the bears that we will be visiting, but I guess there's also wolves and elk and everything else around there that you will be able to get pictures of and be able to see as well. Then from there, we're on to the Mount Rushmore Memorial. Now, Mount Rushmore, I don't know if any of you have been there before, but when I went, I have to say I was very, very touched. I felt very American when I was there, and it's just really a neat place to be able to go and visit Mount Rushmore. Of course, lots of opportunities to take pictures and to take a look around. And again, something that should be on your bucket list if it hasn't been, to be able to go and see Mount Rushmore.
I agree. Jean, can I interject really quick?
You certainly can.
So we brought a group through Mayflower to Mount Rushmore a couple years back, and it was a spectacular experience. We ended up going to Mount Rushmore at night as the sun was setting over that beautiful mountain with the carved presidential faces. So we had time to eat dinner there, and then we were able to go and watch this amazing tribute to our military, to our country. And it was essentially the lighting of Mount Rushmore at night. It was spectacular. And I'll tell you, the office was all here working, and I recorded it and sent it back to the team. And they were like, that was the best thing we could have ever seen. Below there's tunnels that tell you the history of the building of Mount Rushmore, or the chiseling, if you will. And it was really great. So I'm super excited that this group is going to have the opportunity to go there as well.
Yeah, it is. That's, like I said, I felt very patriotic. On this particular one, we're visiting it in the daytime, but you do get a really nice lunch. I don't know if you remember a beautiful cafeteria they had there with lots and lots of different options for eating. So it's just a really, really nice day. So then we're going to do a train ride into the Black Hills on the Black Hills Central Railway, which was founded in 1880. And these tracks are actually go back to the time where the miners, they use these tracks to get to the different mines. So that's how this was kind of developed. So you'll hear again, a lot of the history and the heritage of what happens on the railway, and people love trains. So, we have a lot of programs with trains. So if this one doesn't hit your fancy, I know we'll have another one that will for sure. Then we're going to take a beautiful drive through Spearfish Canyon. So you'll get to take some of the sights in, and that's always a very nice time. I love traveling, even when I was all out in the western area, just to see the different scenery and just sit back and chill and enjoy things that we don't see in the city every day, which makes it very, very nice. Then we're going to visit the Northern Plains People Center. And this is kind of unique because this is about the story of the bison. And I think some of you may have seen, what was the name of the movie? I'm trying to think of the name of the movie with Costner in it. Costner. What is that movie called? It just went blank. Hold on, I got a note here. Let me see if it says it here. Oh, it's the one where he's with the buffalo and everything out on the land. I can't think of the name of it.
Is that one Dances with the Wolves?
Yes, Dances with the Wolves. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes, Dances with the Wolves. And I guess Kevin Costner really had a love for the buffalo. So what he did is he actually sponsored and paid for this particular place that you're going to go. So he can kind of tell you the story. You'll also see all the costumes that were in that particular movie. And it's just going to be something else to see. And he intertwined a lot of the buffalo shots because he directed that movie as well. And he intertwined that all into the movie because of his love of buffalo. I also read that he was trying to do a huge area and it was blocked for some reason. So he's kind of set back and not done that, where he can do more preserving of the animals themselves. So I know this will be a nice visit. You'll learn lots. And we do that a lot. We stop at different museums and different places like this in each of the towns we go to, and they do an excellent job. And then we're going to visit the town of Deadwood. Now, Deadwood is an interesting and fun little town. You probably did this one as well, Amanda, right? Do you know what they call a pretty lady in Deadwood?
I mean, prostitute. I don't really know.
No, they call them a tourist.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did see that. Okay, yes, yes.
A pretty lady in Deadwood is called a tourist. I heard that. It was funny because a lot of times they will have things right on the street. They have different activities and booths and things like this. And this guy was on the microphone, and that's when he told that joke, and it kind of stuck in my brain.
I do remember hearing that. We had the same experience because, of course, you'll see all of the upper level rooms down the street. And once you hear the history, if you don't know it already, of Deadwood, the minimal amount of women that were there, which is where you get my very straightforward way of saying a prostitute, the history goes that there's some red light district area there. Yeah. And but I think the ones that have been through a lot less stress and such a rough life are definitely the tourists. I agree with you. I did hear that joke too.
Yeah, it was kind of cute. Yeah, so this is a nice area. You'll have time there to walk around. You go back again in the evening, and there is a casino there that you can go to. So it's just a really fun little town to go and visit. And of course, I don't want to spoil all the history. You'll have to go on the trip to hear all of the history of this town because there's lots of it. And part of it is visiting the Mount Moriah Cemetery. And I don't know about you guys, but I was very much a tomboy when I was growing up. I mean, I had the guns and the hat and the whole bit. So I found this very interesting. And I know that a lot of the guys that went on the trip with us also found it. very interesting. You can see we take a little motor coach there called Boot Hills Tours. Basically, it's really an old school bus. And we take that actually and go and visit the cemetery, and they tell you all kinds of stories. So these are my own personal pictures right there. And that's Calamity Jane. And I'm not sure who the other one was, but because I can't read who it was, but that, I think it's Wild Bill Hickok. Is that who that is? Yeah, Wild Bill Hickok.
Several people when we were there that left bottles of beer for Wild Bill.
Oh, did they?
Because that, I mean, that Boot Hill Tours was a great experience. That bus looks like a, open air school bus, nothing thrilling, right? But the day tour guides that were on there were funny, they were witty, they told you the story that you maybe didn't know. I didn't know a lot of the story behind the individual people that you hear throughout history and that you hear throughout the West. So
exactly,
it was really a good tour, a good day tour to go on.
Yeah, I agree. And it does bring back lots of memories, and you hear bits and pieces, but they really go into depth about the stories that they're having there. So then from there, we're going to go on to the hot springs, the home of the Mammoth site. And if you look at this, at first I was like, oh my, what in the world? But when you look at the next slide, you're going to see exactly where this comes from. Did you go here? Did you see this one? No, I didn't see this one either. But what it is all of those furry big mammoths are frozen over time into this area. And so as you can see, there are some of the bones and some of the things that are kind of sticking out that may have melted. So that should be very interesting as well. So then on to Custer State Park. This is a beautiful area. I know our Yellowstone trip also does this one. And you go in the morning, and I guess it's a little bit late morning, and you have lunch first. And then I remember when I was driving in, there must have been at least 50 bison right in the entryway when we were driving in that were just grazing there. And then you get on these really neat Jeeps, and they take you on a nice ride, and it's pretty far. You're gone for quite a while, and you get to see all kinds of different wildlife, not just, there's elk out there. You may see a wolf. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can look for. And again, your guide tells you lots of stories about the bison and the buffalo. And this was probably one of my highlights on the trip, and I think you'll find that as well, which is the Crazy Horse Memorial. If you look here on the bottom, like on the right-hand side on the rock, I don't know if you can see my pointer there, that is actually the horse's head that they're working on carving now. So up here on the top part, of course, you can see the face is almost all completed, but they are actually working on that. So you'll start your day when you get there. They're going to take a motor coach bus right up to the memorial so you can get a better look at it. And so it's huge, because I didn't get to ride up there, but they do that on this particular tour. But from far away, it's even big. It's amazing, and the work that they can do. And I took and then from there, you get to go back to the center where there I am inside the center, one of the teepees. There's lots of Indian things, very interactive. They have dancers there, young children doing the native dances. You can hear all about the history of the area. So it was really one of my favorite places to go. Do you have anything to add to that, Amanda?
Yeah, so I was looking for my pictures because this is like a totally technologically not great way to do this.
Yeah. But I had one like that too.
It was so amazing. So they have cultural dancers out there on the decks. So everybody was able to sit around in a circle, and they have chairs. So you're not like sitting like traditional the way you would think Native Americans would sit around a fire or whatever, but they have all of that. It's the same vibe. It's the same experience. And then you're looking over across the way to this memorial that is still being carved over years and years and years of time. So when we went on the trip, we had several people who had already been there before 10, 15 years ago. And now they're coming back and they're taking their pictures and going, this is the difference that we've seen so far. And then there's a smaller portion outside of the interior part where the teepee is that you can take right in front of Crazy Horse, you know, that's just a smaller mock-up. But that was an excellent experience, especially with the cultural dancers, and they tell you a little story and they have you participate a little bit too. So that was great.
Yeah, yeah. You can buy ice cream there. I mean, it's just a pleasant time to be able to spend time there for sure. And then we go to the Wall Drugstore. I guess this place has been around since like 1930. I mean, it's been there, 1931. Been there. And of course, all of Mayflower trips, almost all of them, there's some time for shopping for sure. So this has a lot of Western wear, so you can go in and shop and spend some time there. And then we're going to take a beautiful drive through the Badlands. And I love years and years of wind and rain and whatever have caused all of the way this looks. And it's just absolutely beautiful and very unique. And then from there, unfortunately, we have to head back to Rapid City because we'll be finishing our trip up after our 6 days on the road. But when we get back, we're going to have a final beautiful farewell dinner. It's going to feature entertainment, Indian dancers, storytellers, a flute player. And you know what's nice about traveling with a group is that you make such good friends and everybody gets so close over the period of time that it's just amazing to me. So I hope that you enjoyed our little trip. And then this is the rates that we have for you. For the departure date is June 22nd of 2021. The rate per person is $1,099. So that's a land only rate. So you would have to just call Roseboro Travel. They can give you the air rate in conjunction with that. We also, because you joined us today, you get a very special savings. We have actually doubled our savings right now. Normally it's $50 a person. So for $100 for a couple, but because you're here today, we're offering $200 per couple off of our rate that I just showed you. And then if you're a previous traveler with us, we have what we call Mayflower Money that you earn every single time you do a trip with us. You earn $5 per day. So you could, if you've done a trip within a year with us, you can actually deduct that from the cost as well. So there's a little additional savings. And if you're brand new with us, we like to encourage you to come and try us out. So we offer an additional savings of $25 per person. That's if you have not traveled before. And unfortunately, due to this lovely time period of COVID, we would like you to know that if you make a reservation with us, before January 31st, we have a no risk deposit. So let's say in 60 days, you see things that you're getting a little nervous or you don't want to travel, you can get a full refund back on your money. So that's really a nice offer that we're doing right now because we want you to feel comfortable that if you put a deposit down with us, that you'll be able to get your deposit back. And the travel's protection is, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, really quick. Did you say that $200 off was per person or per couple?
Per couple.
Very good. Okay, that's great.
Yep, 200 per couple, so 100 per person. And then our traveler's protection plan, if you purchase ours, is $150, which is due at time of reservation. And of course, we always encourage everybody to take that because you just never know nowadays. And that's basically all I have. So I thank you all.
Wow, Jean, that was spectacular. I have to tell you, the trip that we're going on, you know, Custer State Park was so cool with those open air vehicles, able to see all of the bison. I can't wait to be able to have our explorers see all of the bear country as well, and getting the opportunity to see the natural wonders like the Badlands. It is totally worth going on this trip. And I have to tell you, the hub and spoke experience is the best way to travel, in my opinion. because you fly, you go into one hotel, and then you have all these day trips, but you're not packing and unpacking the whole time. So to be able to see so much area on this trip and so many wonders, that's definitely a worthwhile trip. And hello, it's a $19.99 per person. If you get $200 off a couple, you're going down to $18.99 plus all of your other discounts, and it's risk-free guarantee. I think that that's really great. I'm super excited about it. Very good. So if we don't have any questions, if you have a question, would you mind going ahead and just doing the chat feature, the Q&A? Anybody have questions? Is the trip handicap accessible?
It can be, but we need to know in advance and make sure that we have a motor coach that is able to go down and come up. So that's something we would ask you to check at the time of booking to make sure that can be handled for you.
Very good. Kneeling bus is super important for that. I'll tell you, on the parts of the trip that I've been on, everything was fairly handicap accessible. All of the accommodations, I'm pretty sure I actually stayed at this hotel. The accommodations are, of course, handicap accessible, but even when you go to Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, all of that, they have ramps and everything as well. So that's really nice.
Number 2, it's ranked 2 out of 5. So that means it's pretty easily paced and not too strenuous.
Is it family friendly? That's another question.
We do a lot of, multi-family people that come on, like the parents and the grandparents and the kids, the grandkids. So yes, something like that would be fine.
What is the youngest age?
Usually 12 and up can handle it a little bit better. I wouldn't say under 12, but we had one gentleman on Mars that was 10 and he did pretty well, but
yeah,
somewhere in that age group.
I think it really does matter with the age of the traveler and the way that they're a traveler, because like most of the people who know me know I have a daughter who's 6 years old, but she's so well traveled. It really does matter on the age, but when you're going to more places that are museums and cultural experiences, it tends to have a little bit less to do for the younger kids. So it's definitely, I highly recommend ages, 10, 11, 12. Plus it works really well with their history classes that they'll be taking that year. So great. Well, you did such a great job. If we don't have any other questions, I'd like to go ahead on behalf of Roseboro Travel. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you so much, Jean, for doing such a great presentation. And let you know that if you're interested in grabbing up those discounts and holding your space on our June departure of 2021, we will be happy to get you booked and taken care of and answer any additional questions that you might come up with along the way. And if you would like to sign up for it, go ahead and give us a call at Roseboro Travel, send us an email, or come on in. All right, well, without further ado, thank you so much, Jean, for doing this. Thank you all for joining us today, and have a safe and happy holidays. I'm super excited about Christmas, if you can't tell. So I have my antlers on, and then my blinking necklace, and my shirt might just say blame it on the eggnog. So we're having a fun day at Roseboro Travel, doing some videos, some fun Christmas videos. So wanted to say and wish you all very well. And if we don't see you before the new year, have a happy new year as well.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.